Welcome to another fresh week at Connections, guys. How's everybody doing? It's a new week. It's a Monday. We're all excited and amped, and this one's got far too much energy.
Feeling great tonight.
Of course.
Yes, indeed.
In your suit and tie.
He's looking dapper.
I just woke up and I was like, let me just look good for work today. And I just thought, let me just look good for studio tonight. I was like, keep that tie on, bro. Keep that tie on.
How many numbers did you get today?
None. I was focused. I left home, city. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm focused.
Yeah, going to work.
No
going to
distractions.
work. And you? And you?
I am good. I'm good. We had the weekend to just chill, just lay back, enjoy. Okay, that's what my weekends are like. I relax on my weekends. I don't know about you guys, but I'm good, relaxed, fresh. And it's a motivational Monday, so let's get into it. Back to
Before
the
we get
grind.
into it, she had a great weekend.
I said, please not on air.
Congratulations
No,
on
no.
your
She
car.
had a
No!
fabulous
Stop
weekend.
that. No.
Listen.
Tula wena,
Those people that are stalking her. Please, which camera? That camera. Those people that
No!
are stalking her. Please, I won't tell you the color. She's got a Hyundai iX
Shut up!
35.
Shut up! Stop that!
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you, Nazi.
Shush, Ludo.
Wow.
What is
I'm
Baba
gobsmacked.
Wamlana? No, Tula. Tandizinto, too much. Tula Valilom. Anyway.
Anyway,
Back
yeah.
to Motivational Monday. We're
That
talking
car,
about
hey?
life skills that you guys need straight out of matric. Because usually people are like, matric, I'm going to go to varsity, I'm going to get
Yeah.
a job, but join the job market. But it doesn't
Yeah.
always turn out that way.
It doesn't.
You know? Sometimes you've got to start working before you go to varsity or whatever the case may be. So we're just trying to prepare you for that.
Yeah, definitely. And bear in mind, not everyone is cut out for university.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Not
That
everyone's
is
cut out for
absolutely
university.
true.
And there are other avenues, after all, that are out there that you could, obviously
You can go
go
train
into.
in a trade. You can go get a diploma.
Be an artisan. That is really something big now. Getting into artisans, because South Africa is always running low on something, so we're also running low on artisans.
Currently, they're running low on Nelson Mandela's portraits and all. If you're an artist, paint. Sell that thing for 2,500 rand for like it.
Just sometimes when you say things like, I wonder, like, if your brain
It was
is in
processed.
gear.
It was processed.
Like,
okay.
have you put your brain in gear before you accelerate it? Like,
Anyway, today we are focusing on two main things, though, when it comes to life
Putting
skills.
us along.
We are focusing on getting your driver's license and, of course, that little paper, few pages.
Sorry,
Jay.
yeah, it's called
Curriculum
curriculum
vitae.
vitae. Curriculum
Okay, so now you're
vitae.
saying I don't know what a CV is, huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
You said that paper. You say like it daily sun. Like it's great. I read it.
There is 3 or 4 or 5, depending on who you are, pages that determine more lifing or fella guy or kala guy and all that. So we are talking about a curriculum vitae, as they choose to call it, but be different. My CV has 3 pages, and their CVs, I think you guys.
So it's made 2 pages, my dear.
No, yours.
That's
I
where
think your CV has more like 10 pages. All those CV vitaes that you keep on. Those just add up to it.
No.
It does. You clearly have like a CV of 20 pages.
Maybe yours. The reason why it's 3 pages. Maybe her font.
Okay,
is at
guys,
size 20,
like,
and it's got pink
stop
borders,
it.
and it like carries on to third. I'll give
I
you
feel
CV
like I'm in
cracks.
the middle of a cat fight. What's going on? Okay, guys, enough. Let's actually start talking about tonight's topic and actually get the viewers chatting with us, Tikano.
Yes, guys, you can join in on our conversation, and I'm not going to mess up my pick 5 today. I refuse
If you
to mess up
practice
my
this
pick
weekend,
5. I
eh?
practiced. In the mirror, I was like, okay, the number is the SMS number, so I'm not messing it up. Firstly, it is Facebook. We are www.facebook.com/Mindset Connections, and of course, Twitter, my favorite, but I'm not being biased, but Twitter, it is @Connections319. You can call us. Our number is 086-105-8262, and you can also send us an SMS with your thoughts. Our SMS number is 083-448810. And finally, you can send us your email, connections@mindset.co.za. Yay!
Congrats.
Awesome. Win. That's epic.
So let's
Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So basically, there's 2 discussion points that we're looking at today. Getting your driver's license, number 1.
Yeah.
And getting your CV sorted out, like we said before. But, what are there's a couple of misconceptions surrounding getting one's driver's license. What do you think those are, Luto?
In South Africa, hey?
Yeah.
In Johannesburg, hey?
Yeah.
It's a mission. And as young guys, you're thinking, okay, look, why am I going to go fail 20 times for no reason before I can get mine, you know?
Yeah.
So they're all like, okay, dude, hook me up with a contact, and they'll buy them, you know?
Yeah.
And that's fine, fair enough. You need one, you're desperate. But think of the risk that you're
can't
putting.
drive.
You can't drive.
Yeah.
That's why you keep failing, type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
You're
No.
putting other people's lives at risk. Us, you know, us wild drivers on the road, and you're putting us at risk with your tendencies of not being licensed and not being able to drive.
No, for sure.
You know?
It is dangerous. I mean, like, when you get to the point that you failed that many times, I don't think there's anyone on the planet who's failed 20 times. But if you have failed 20 times, then I think it might be time for you to give up or find a driving instructor at the very least. You know, clearly you're not getting this on your own, and it's costing you a hell of a lot of money.
I was about to say, if you can afford that, you can afford a driver.
Yeah, if you can afford that, you
You
can pay
afford
for
that. Pay for a driver, chap.
I mean,
And
I
you
won't
can-
lie, Shane. Yo, buying a license has crossed my mind. Once, twice,
I'm calling
3
the
times, maybe.
Whatnot of traffic department.
I am
this
gonna do it
tonight.
legally, but I'm being honest. It has crossed my mind, and I even told my parents about, like, you know what? I am thinking of buying my license, because this whole procedure of actually getting it done and failing, I'm not up for it. I'm
Yeah,
not.
but I mean, the thing about the process that's that's the most
Curriculum
important.
vitae, dear.
The thing about
Curriculum vitae.
Sure, Shwena. The thing about the process that's really important is the fact that you need to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
But you know how to drive. That's the thing.
Who
You know
lied
the
to you?
controls. You
Okay, you know the controls and you know
you
the
know
steering wheel stuff.
everything. Yeah.
Have you actually driven the vehicle? Do you understand your revs? Do you
Your
understand how to
clutch
keep
balance.
clutch
Don't
Guys,
balance?
back.
don't put me on the
Don't.
no, don't put me on the spotlight, okay? You know the controls, and I'm not talking about me now. I'm talking about the next
In
person.
general.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
general,
in
okay.
general, like, you find a person who knows that, okay, if I want to do this and that, I know it, I know my controls. But you know that one question, the thing with these tests is that if you fail one section, you fail everything. You fail that little section, maybe the road signs just
Is
put
this a
you off.
learner's license test or the driver's test?
Learner's license.
Learner's
Yeah, we're
license
still in
test.
learners, you know, the basics.
Yeah,
You know, some of
yeah.
us are still there.
Yeah.
So you fail that one section, and that section, it just throws you off. You fail it, and then you fail the whole thing.
So you want a learner's license. Say, for instance, you don't understand road rules on the highway. You want a learner's license that'll permit you on small roads alone. Stick to under 80 zone.
You know what? Now, I am not saying that it is right. I'm not saying it's right to buy, but I'm saying that people, we do consider, and I'm saying we because as I say before, I have considered buying
Don't
my
let that sinful
learners and
desire dwell in
license.
your mind, girl.
And it's because of that fact, yokuthi into encane nje just completely does not destroys you, but it lets you down.
Yeah, I know for sure, but the thing is that when it comes to driving, that small thing is the difference
It
between
matters.
killing someone or yourself and
I
not killing
It's the
understand.
someone.
I
difference with
understand
our
that.
scary rates of how many people die a year on our South African roads.
Okay. So do you think that driving lessons should be incorporated into life schools at school?
Definitely.
Yes.
Yes, because this would make everybody's life so much easier. If you could
Yeah.
do your learner's license test as a test at school, this would streamline the process so much more efficiently at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
you're actually gonna study like
My
when you're
ex-high
studying
school,
for
my
yeah.
ex-high school, we like right alongside VW. They sponsored us with a car, which they take and then give us a brand new one, sell that one as a demo model and whatnot. And they teach these kids who don't know how to drive, like, you know, to drive.
Luto.
I never really,
You were once
I
a
never
kid who
really,
didn't know how to drive, okay?
I was like
I
13.
was never taught. I was never taught.
Okay, cool. All right. So then
Yeah.
let's look at CVs. Okay.
Before we get there, do you have
okay,
your
cool.
license?
Yes.
Of course she has
You
her
do.
license.
And yourself?
Of course I don't have my license yet.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
Moving
so
swiftly along.
CVs. Have you guys ever been taught how to draw one up? And what is it for? What do you think? What do you use yours for, Luto?
I was taught. I'm not that old that I was taught OPE.
Okay.
So I was taught in grade 11,
Yeah.
standard 9.
Okay.
And they were like, this is the way. You know, I know now Microsoft's got a format and a template. This is how you should do it. But yours isn't gonna be that special, you know, if you all just use that template.
Yeah.
I was taught how to do mine like in a unique way.
Okay. Cool. Understand.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were taught in
Yeah.
the English class, like it
Mine
was
was
a
life
task.
orientation.
It was a task in the English class. You had to draw up your CV and a cover letter, cover letter as well that goes along with the CV. So yeah, we were taught the basics and the not so basics of a CV, the cover letter, and the format that you should use, what should be in the CV, what it's used for. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
know. That's why I have work experience.
I don't know, like
Right.
at school, I guess no one really taught me, so I just went onto the internet and like found out like how it works, and then like figured out what a skills matrix is and like that kind of thing, and you kind of just work it out. It isn't all that complicated. The information is out there, even if
Google's your
you're
best
even if you're
friend,
out
or
of
whatever
school
search
now,
engine.
you can still go and find out the
Yeah.
information. But yeah, it is important that they teach it at schools. And Luto, you obviously have a job. What do you think was attractive about your CV?
I don't know, it's just my name, my surname. It's like, I like the ring to it. Like, let's take this
Lutukade.
guy. Like, Lutukade is like a word.
Okay,
Kidding.
fine. Just give me a real
Yeah,
answer now,
right.
please.
I really don't know.
Okay.
I was with my aunt at the time, and
Yeah.
she's into recruitment.
Okay.
You know, so obviously she's like, well knowledge, just all these
Okay.
CV things and everything.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, do it
Yeah.
like this, and this must come after this because of this type
Okay.
of a thing. So I was fortunate in that regard, having someone who could guide me along.
Okay, cool.
You know,
alright.
but in terms of the information, I really don't know.
Okay.
I just threw in everything there.
Okay.
And because I was fresh out of high school, I didn't have any work experience, whatever it was. It was like high school achievements,
Okay.
and what type of person I am and
Yeah.
everything, and
No.
my name.
Well, I've got a CV and an actor's resume because I have to have both. The format is different.
Difference being
depending-
because
Oh,
CV,
yes, yes,
from
yes.
it's
according
just
to my knowledge,
what you've done in drama and only what you've done in drama, and then your special skills. You can't now go saying, and then I did this, this, and this, and I washed dishes at Wimpy, and then I made coffee here, and then I like worked in post production there. You know what I mean? That can't be on there. They just want to see what you've done in the actual field.
but the fact that I wash dishes at a restaurant means I can stay up and tolerate such things. Therefore, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I
surely there's a
understand.
linkage somehow.
Yeah, no, but it's not really there. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, we've got to move on a little bit. So go get some tea and cakes and coffee and whatever makes you feel comfortable, nice warm blankie, and we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to another episode of Connections. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about getting your driver's license, life skills, and
Life
whatnot.
skills, CVs are also
Where
coming
have you
up.
been?
Where have you been?
I'm glad you joined us. So, and those of us who are still with us today, this is Lynette. She
Beautiful
is
guest tonight.
yeah, gorgeous woman. She's a driving instructor, and she's here to talk to us about getting a driver's license and that kind of thing. So tell us a bit about yourself, Lynette.
Okay, my name is Lynette Matthews, a mother of one. I'm a driving instructor by profession, a businesswoman. I'm an honest person, punctual, outgoing, and and I really, really, really love being a driving instructor. I enjoy being a driving
I like
instructor.
that. I'm an
Yeah.
honest person. In your sphere of career, your guys' occupation,
It's very difficult to find an
it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I
commend
like
you.
that. I commend you on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Another question is, why would you encourage young people, to get their driver's license while they're at school at the legal age and everything?
Okay, firstly, I will say that getting your license at at a earlier age, it makes them. Oh, I'll say it's quicker, to learn when you're early, than when you're a bit older. As youngsters, they love challenges and all that. So, driving will be, like part of their challenge as well. So it's quicker when they are still young and when they're older. Yeah, they learn quick. They learn fast.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
easier
yeah,
for us
definitely.
as instructors as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And take us through the process of getting your license and how much it costs and where do you start? When you want to get your license, what do you do?
Okay, first thing is you need to get your learners.
Okay.
Okay, first thing will be that you need to go and book for your learners, get a date for test, and then you'll need to know your K53, which is your...
Can you involve costs
Yeah.
in that?
Yes, okay. Booking for learners will be like plus minus 120,
Okay.
and then you will go for test. If you pass, then you'll pay like 100 rand to get your learners. And then from there, you will have to go for your lessons. And then if your instructor now feels confident about you, and if she or if he feels that you are ready for test, and then he will take you for the test. And then a booking for test is like 230.
Okay.
And then when you go back again for your drivers, and then like for your driver's test, when you pass, you'll have to pay again another 230.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah.
great.
All right. So it does rack up a bit then. It does
Yeah,
rack up. So you've
but
gotta
now
be really-
for your lessons, you know,
Yeah.
like we normally start, you know, especially with the new beginners,
Mhm.
we start them with like 20 lessons. So
Okay.
the whole
Mm.
package will be like 4.5.
Okay.
That includes the booking, 20 lessons, you know, taking you for like the test as well on your
Yeah.
day of your test.
And that's thorough practicing, because they might feel, okay, buying my license would be cheaper. But that's thorough practice. You
Yeah.
know, it's proper skills that
Yeah.
you will gain, and, you know, driving in like a proper manner that will, you know, result in everyone being safe and
Yeah,
everything.
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially yourself and those around you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, tell us what the difference is between a Code 8 and a Code 10.
Okay, with Code 8, we like Code 8 has all those parallel parkings in Alido Kings 3.10, and then Code 10 doesn't have all those. You know, Code 10 you just like drive straight, and
Yeah,
then go back,
yeah.
and then that's it. So Code 10 you do a lot, you know, like no, sorry, in Code 8 you do a lot,
Yeah,
you know,
way
like
more.
unlike in Code 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's the difference.
I would know, before we move on, I would know. I just had to show you something since you know, you're in this whole profession, and I won't be needing lessons anytime soon. I just thought I should just put it out there, you know. Got my card officially, and yeah, us young citizens, you know, aren't endangering other people on the roads. And Unati got hers as well, but she's
Yeah.
still got
Yeah.
A4 and mission, you know, it doesn't even fit in a wallet. And so you just, you know, yeah. On that
Yeah.
note,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, and I
having
got mine completely
FYI.
and utterly legally, which is incredible
Which
as
is
well.
very
And
good.
which one would you encourage people to get between Code 8 and Code 10?
I will say Code 8.
Thank you.
Because
Okay.
there are like a lot of people who went for like you know, like Code 10, but then they go and buy small cars, and then they can do parallel
Yeah.
parkings and all that. So I
Okay.
will say, you know what, it's best, you know, to start with Code 8, and then you
Okay.
can always convert into Code 10.
Code 10,
But
yeah.
Code 8
yeah.
is the best, yeah.
No, that's the best, because, yeah, as you also say, you know, with Code 10, you don't do those
You don't
parallel
do all those parallel
alley
parkings,
dockings
alley
and whatnot.
dockings, 3.10, yeah.
Reality is, you get to these places, I mean, consider Sandton City, check how small those
Yeah, that's true.
parking lots are.
Yeah.
And now, if you don't know how to park
How
to
to
save
park
your
them,
life,
it's going to be difficult, yeah.
yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
going to have to be insured, and like
Yeah.
proper premiums, because,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to be scratched left, right, and center, excuse me.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, another question here is, what are the most mistakes people do, you know, when they go fail, or when they go for their test and they fail?
Well, the most thing is, you know what, they kind of like, you know what, they will be like nervous.
Yeah,
They will
yeah,
be
yeah,
nervous
yeah.
and shake, and then
I
they
can
can't
relate.
control their clutch and all that. And
Yeah.
once your car rolls, an inch, just an inch, you fell.
I did that
Yeah.
the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah, she did.
Lynn
No,
was like,
she
what is
bumped
she
the pole.
doing? I
She
know.
bumped the
And
pole
I've never
already,
bumped a
okay.
pole, like, ever.
That is me, hey?
I wasn't looking, dude. I
That
was so
was
nervous. I
me.
wasn't looking behind me. My foot was shaking. I didn't put my foot on the brake. I put it on the accelerator.
Yeah.
And I went
and
into
her
the
car went so
pole.
fast, and then she bumped the
Yeah,
pole.
my first time as well. Look,
And
I
you
was
know what?
already in.
All right, hang on, guys. We've got a telephone call coming through.
Great, great, great.
Hello,
Hello.
Unati.
Hello. Who's speaking?
You are speaking to Kulumango Unati.
Kulumango.
Yes.
Lovely to
Minjani?
hear from you. Do you have a question for our guest tonight, Kulumango?
Yes, I heard Usis Lynette saying that Code 10 you just drive back and forth. So I was wanting to ask, is it easier to now do a Code 10 instead of a Code 8 because you don't get tested on a lot of things, and are you guaranteed passing if you do a Code 10?
Okay, well, you know
Common
what,
question.
Code 10 years,
Yeah.
it's easy. It's very, very easy. But then, you know what, imagine like you doing, you know, like Code 10, and then you would buy a small car, and then you won't be able to do all those parkings, you know, like at the mall. So my advice will be, please, guys, go for Code 8.
Code 8 first, and then
Code 8
upgrade
first,
later.
and then later you can do Code 10 if you, like,
you
maybe
want
want
to.
to drive a big truck or so.
Yeah.
But Code 8 is the best.
Because then you can't parallel park, you can't alley dock, you can't
do your,
three-point
like, your
turn.
3.10, yeah.
You can't escape taxis in the middle of Joburg
Yeah.
CBD.
Like, what
Yeah.
can you do? Like, what's the
Yeah.
point of you having a license
Yeah,
now?
so the best will be like Code 8.
Yeah.
So-
I know there's
yeah.
so much you know that needs to be done, but Code 8 is the best.
Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, realistically, people are buying their licenses, but like, what's the disadvantage of purchasing your license as opposed to just going the legal way?
Buying a license, guys, firstly, it's illegal. it's illegal. And buying a license, it means that you don't know your road signs and all that. So buying it is just illegal. Just don't buy a license.
Stay
Rather
away.
go through those channels. I know it's a long run, you know. Some people, they get so discouraged because of you'll take all the lessons and then you fail, and then you fail, and then you fail, and then you fail, but don't buy it.
Yeah,
It's illegal.
you'll get through it.
Now, you a female, obviously, and this field is predominantly, you know, surrounded by males and everything.
males.
They, you know. As a female, how did you get into this driving instructing thing? And are you enjoying it? You know, bombarded amongst
I'm
all these
enjoying
guys.
it big time. I started driving when I was like 14 years.
Okay.
Big ups.
Yes, and well, firstly I started teaching my young brother, you know, to drive. I taught my sister, I taught my mom, so I'm really loving it.
Okay,
How did you
cool.
get into it? What is the initial process in it all? Did you just decide, hey, look, let me just become a driving instructor?
Yes, that's true. I just said, you know what, I just want to do driving. I love driving, I enjoy driving. Let me just be a driving instructor and change young people's lives. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Awesome.
No, that's
yeah,
awesome.
you changed my life.
Yeah, I was
Thank
about to say,
you.
she's a great driver
She's
now.
such a good driving instructor. She's
Yeah.
awesome. She was so good. I learned so well how to drive. I like her so much.
I
Thank
saw
you,
how she
Liz.
parked in our basement. Our parkings are rather small as well. This person who's parked here must have been taught very well.
Yeah, but it did take me like forever to get in there because I was going like this slowly. I'm like, I'm not going to chip my paint. I'm not going to chip my paint. I'm not going to chip my paint.
Yeah, no. Eventually, though.
Eventually, I got it in
Yeah.
straight.
No, it's perfectly straight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having Paul, for joining us, Lynn.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Thank
Thanks,
you so much
Amy.
for answering all of those questions. That
Okay,
was so
thank
fab of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, we're going to be back with our next guest who's going to be talking about getting your CV organized, nice,
Yeah.
cut and dry, perfect looking. So please don't go away. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back, guys. And if you're only just joining us, we're talking life skills for teens. And we were just finished talking with Lynn about getting your driver's license. And now we're here with a life coach, Chanel, who'll be talking to us about getting your CV just right. So welcome. Thanks for joining us. Please tell us a bit about yourself and the kind of work that you do.
Right, well, I'm a counselling life coach with a main focus at the present moment on skills development. And one of the things that I like to do is to help, especially matriculants, as they transition from school to commerce, what that really is like and what the challenges that will be facing them and how to overcome them.
Okay, cool. All right. Excellent.
Okay, and then what is the purpose of a CV? Because, you know, we just think that a CV is a paper that's going to get you a job. But what is the actual purpose of a CV and what is the correct format of a CV?
Right, well, first of all, you have to remember that your CV is a living document.
Okay.
The CV that you put together today may not be the CV that you need in 2-3 months' time or in a year's time. So it is always constantly changing and you need to adapt it. It needs to be flexible so that you can bring out certain strengths as required by the job advert or the job spec that you've been given. I liken a CV to a key. It is the apparatus that will open the door of opportunity for you. So from an interviewee's point of view, you've put out an advert and you get all these keys coming at you. And they're different shapes of keys, long ones, short ones, different types of keys. But the key that is shining and that is complete and has a nice tag on it with an appropriate name that I'm applying for the secretarial position which is available, will always stand out from the bunch of keys. Then the key needs to be taken, it needs to be put into the lock.
Yeah.
Yes, it fits, but will it turn, will it open that lock for both you as the applicant and the interviewer, the employer? So it needs to be, as far as your format is concerned, it needs to be simple. Gone are the days where a CV on coloured paper with photographs and the sort of graphics and things, CVs need to be able to be read very quickly, and the information needs to be there, because from a recruiter's point of view, they put out an advert, and especially with mass recruitment, you have hundreds of CVs coming in. You don't have the time to sift through plastic folders and things that are stapled together. They need to be quick access. And an ideal CV should not be longer than 2 pages, because it needs to be a quick process, and you need to have all those points there that will stick out for the recruiter. Say, okay, this person's got maths, or this person's got science, and they've done the science fair. That's the kind of person we're looking for. It needs to be, available to them at a glance.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Okay, then, well, would you take us through a format that you would recommend?
Sure. A format, first of all, the presentation. Now, when I say presentation, I mean a consistent font and a consistent heading size and a consistent text size. You don't want all sorts of different fonts and different sizes of letters. Also, your bullet points. Choose a type of bullet point. I would suggest something really simple, like the dot or the square. Little flowers and little music notes, that's not going to do it for you. It needs to be, fairly sort of serious. This says, I'm serious about this job. I've sort of left teenagehood behind me, and I'm moving forward into the adult world. So you should have all your personal details, your name, your contact details, your ID number, and all your contact details, so that they know who you are and how to get back to you. Followed with the personal details, you need to have your qualifications. So, for instance, if a job spec has a matriculation requirement, or you need to have maths and science, okay, that needs to stand out straight away, that this person has exactly what I'm looking for. So any qualifications that you have, and I know that we're addressing mainly grade 11 and 12 here, so any other courses that you have done, for instance, if you have a driver's license, or you're currently doing your learner's license, you say, I've passed my learners, currently going for driving and instructing lessons, and I hope to have my license in 2 months' time, or whatever it is. So put everything down there about your qualifications. If you have work experience, you may have worked in a shop, you may have done work experience, you may have done an internship somewhere, then that follows. And in years to come, you need to put down your employment history. And when you do that, it needs to be accurate, and references need to be contactable. So giving somebody's name who may or may not remember you at whatever place, and the cell phone number is not 100% correct, then don't put it down. Rather have everything accurate. And of course, the main thing is correct spelling, correct grammar. And most of the people that we are talking to at the moment are not first language English speakers. So don't be afraid to approach a teacher and say, could you please check this for me? Can you check the grammar? Because that's something that already stands out. Gosh, this person can't really spell properly. I can't put them into a job where I require data inputting, because if a name is spelled incorrectly, and you do a name search, that person's not going to come up. So it's terribly important to be accurate. Correct grammar will then indicate to somebody that you are proficient in the language and that you'll be able to hold your own.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, Unati, you heard you can't have a Hello Kitty CV.
No,
I don't have a Hello Kitty CV. What are you taking for?
Her love for Hello Kitty is insane. She could have a Hello Kitty CV.
However,
so we just had to make sure.
However, I must say, if you were applying for a job at Hello Kitty, that would
Sanrio,
be appropriate, and it could be slightly funky. That would require a judgment call.
Yeah.
So they would say, look, I understand the product, I use the product, this is how I see myself fitting into the product. But that will come sort of later. When you're entering the job market and your first job, you need to be as structured and as conservative as possible.
Okay, and then what kind of skills do you have that a matriculant at home already has that they can highlight in their CV that they're drafting up right now?
Well, at school, if you have done things like the chess club or the debating society, or for instance, if you have been instrumental in organising the matric dance or the end of the year party, I would look at those things that you've done. And I would say, for instance, somebody who's organised parties and functions for school, whether it be sports or social, put down event experience. I have come up with a concept. I have organised quotations for suppliers. I have engaged suppliers. I have organised payment. We've done meet and greet. All those kind of things would indicate to a new employer, all right, this person's a new person on the block, but they have a little bit of an idea of what it takes to put on a big function. So anything that you've done at school, and now's probably the time for the grade 11s to be thinking about what can I do next year to just add that little bit of meat onto the bone for my CV at the end of matric.
Okay, cool, excellent. And then what makes one CV better or stand out more than another?
Difficult to say, but what I would say, what we would look for would be the ideal candidate. So for instance, if you don't have science as a subject, and science, the job is something to do in a lab, let's say, well, then you wouldn't be an ideal candidate. You've got to try and match your skills with the job advert. Okay. And if it's not an advert that's in the newspaper or online and somebody has called you, always try and phone up and say, I've seen this advert, could you give me some more information about it? Okay. You have to also remember that the interview process and the process of getting your first job is a two-way situation. You're not alone in the wilderness. You do have a voice, or at least I hope you think you've got a voice. Yeah. And ask questions, be probing. Well, who is the employer that you are recruiting for? Then they might indicate to you that it's a cell phone company or a bank. Okay. Then you know exactly which way you're heading. Okay, so a call center, gosh, I know nothing about a call center. What happens in a call center? Get online, find out what happens in a call center, find out what happens in a bank, what it's like working there. And then, as I say, the CV is a living document. Add in there, pull out your strengths and elaborate them, give additional information and motivation as to why your strength would be applicable to that job.
Okay, cool.
Okay, well, we have a very nice comment here on Facebook from Kiabetswe K-Line Bukaba, and she says, hey guys, I have learned to write a CV since grade 9, and each year it just keeps on improving. Excellent. And improving. So thank you, Kiabetswe, for that comment. We hope that when she gets into the job market, it will be like spectacular.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
And then you get your CV, and then there's this other thing that accompanies your CV, the cover letter. What is it, and what is the purpose of a cover letter?
Right. A cover letter sometimes is not required. For instance, once again, mass recruitment. If you're applying online for something, there may be the option to leave a covering letter, or they may not. So once again, it's a judgment call. If you would like to do it anyway, then do so, but just be aware that it may or may not be read at the time. What that letter should cover is a motivation as to why you would be an ideal candidate for that vacancy. So once again, it's pulling out your strengths, it's additional information, supporting information that you are supplying in a very brief way. That covering letter has got to be 2 paragraphs and no more, because people don't have, once again, time to read through screeds of screeds. Yeah, I loved maths at school. I really want to do something with maths. Enjoy maths, excelled at supporting, give you supporting information and a motivation as to why you would be ideal for that position.
Okay, that's interesting. And you have a covering letter and a CV. What kind of preparation is necessary for now the face-to-face, the actual interview? Because you've got the paperwork done, and what do you have to do? You know, how do you have to present yourself? How do you have to conduct yourself in an actual interview?
Right. Your very first interview is going to be tough. It's going to be a learning curve. You may do 10 interviews before you even get on a short list. But the most important thing to remember is that, once again, the person who is organizing the interview should be able to tell you what the company is, what the position is. They may not discuss salary at this stage, but they should be able to tell you it's FNB, it's for a teller. Okay, so what you do is you go onto the FNB website, you find out about FNB. What does FNB stand for? Or what does Standard Bank stand for? Standard Bank's strapline is moving forward. Great, that really appeals to me. I want to move forward with my career. Find out about how many employees they have, how many divisions, how many branches, as much as you can find, either online or actually in hard print. Then, once again, hopefully you've been briefed by the agency, or, as I say, ask the questions. How many people will be interviewing me? Is this the beginning of an interview process? Because a lot of people, I think you go for an interview and you either get the job or you don't. But with recruitment being so highly specialized at the moment, there can often be an interview process, which means you could have 2 or 3 interviews. It could be a panel interview. There's often tests that are required that you need to complete, like your computer literacy, your maths literacy test. So it's not just going and sitting across a desk from somebody and answering questions. So equip yourself with as much information about the company that you're going to and that the vacancy that you are hoping to apply for. Then actually in the interview situation, the most important thing is, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be, some people either clam up, or otherwise other people just talk.
Yeah,
just talk. Okay. So you have to decide beforehand which one of those types of people are you. Okay, so fine, I tend to talk a lot. Then you need to remember that the most important thing that you can do in an interview is listen. It's not about the talking. You will be given the verbal cues. You need to pick up on what you can actually comment on. They may ask you a question you absolutely know nothing about it, but you've got to put forward some sort of reply, because that in itself can be a test. Can this person think on their feet? Can they keep their pose while they're answering a difficult question or something that they know very little about? So it's body language, it's voice pitch and tone, it's just confidence. If you feel that you're not confident in doing that, that's something that you really need to work on. And that you can only do with in the situation. So go to as many interviews as you possibly can, because that with each interview you'll be more confident.
And what are your final words for our young matriculants and viewers out there who are looking to get into the job market?
Wow. The most important thing is be prepared. Be aware that it can be a long and arduous process. Do not be discouraged, and especially your year after matric. If you're not finding a job within the first quarter of the year, find something. Try and do an internship. Do a course. If you can't do that, do something that's going to add some meat onto the bone. That can mean all sorts of different things, but don't just sit at home. Get into a routine of applying for jobs, for looking for jobs. Very, very important.
Thank you so much for your time, Shanine. Thank you for having us. It's been extremely informative. And for you guys at home, I hope you learned a lot tonight. Thank you for joining us. But unfortunately, time is up once again. We'll see you on Wednesday. Good night.
Bye.